Welcome back to the definitely not biased, but still are definitely biased NFL Power Rankings here on Finned Up. I am your host, Brian Mochak, here to give you my highly opinionated and not very fact-based top 10 NFL teams. Let's get into it. Honorable mention to the Dallas Cowboys. After two rough losses to the Saints and Ravens, they were able to snap their two-game losing streak and win back-to-back games against the Giants and the Steelers. They're playing well even though Dak is making subpar throws. But before I move them up into my top 10, I want to see how they fare this week against the Detroit Lions. Number 10, the Buffalo Bills. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. After getting out to a hot 3-0 start, the Bills have lost two straight games. One, a blowout on Sunday Night Football to the Ravens, and two, not being able to complete the comeback against the Houston Texans on Sunday. Sure, they have a good point differential, but that's just because they beat up on the lesser teams in the Cardinals, the Jaguars, and the Dolphins, and then they can't play as well against the better teams in the Ravens and the Texans. And that's what makes the Dolphins frauds. Bills, not Dolphins. I'm just copying and pasting what everybody said about the Miami Dolphins last year. Also, I learned on Sunday that apparently smelling salts are used to cure ankle injuries. As Bills quarterback Josh Allen was knocked out cold from said ankle injury, he took a concussion in the previous week against the Ravens, and then he had another major concussion against the Texans. Josh Allen needs to retire and quit football, think about his family. The Bills medical staff and coaching staff need to be investigated for this total negligence. Dolphins need to lose a draft pick. Coaches need to get fired. Bills, not Dolphins. I'm just copying and pasting and reading what everybody said about the Dolphins in 2022. Burn it down! Number 9, the Atlanta Falcons. Big Kirko, he got that dog in him. Cousins absolutely lit up the scoreboard on Thursday night in the first ever good Amazon Prime game. All of last season and this offseason, people, myself included, said that this offense was incredibly talented, and if they just had a good quarterback to get all the weapons of the ball, they would be fine. And now that this offense is clicking, they appear to be totally unstoppable. The defense, on the other hand, still leaves something to be desired, as they have one of the worst pass rush win rates in the NFL. But if they get that figured out, I think the Falcons are going to be really, really good. Number 8, the Denver Broncos. Through the first 5 weeks of the NFL season, the Broncos are really good, and I'm tired of pretending they aren't. After they had a rough 0-2 start, they've gone on a 3-game win streak. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix appears to be figuring this thing out as he's playing better every single week, and that defense is real good under Vance Joseph. Everyone is high as a kite on this team in the Mile High City, and I am too. Smoke weed every day. Number 7, the Green Bay Packers. Here's my issue with the Packers. Last year, Jordan Love looked like he was the next coming of Aaron Rodgers, but this year he looks like he's the next coming of Brett Favre, which isn't a bad thing. The dude makes some unreal throws every single game, and then simultaneously he makes some boneheaded throws every single game as well. They did manage to tread water and get 2 wins with Malik Willis while Love was out, and they are currently at 3-2 and 3rd place in the NFC North. But the teams they beat were the Colts, the Titans, and the Rams, and they lost to the Eagles and the Vikings. If they start winning games against better competition, I'll move them up my list. Number 6, the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens had an incredible game against the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. It was a high-scoring comeback, back-and-forth affair that went to overtime. Lamar dropped the ball, and then he stiff-armed a dude into the ground and then threw the ball back across his body in an absolute dart to Isaiah Likely. The defense is sometimes good. The defense is sometimes not good. Derrick Henry appears to still be the king in Baltimore. The Ravens are good, but they still make me really confused. Number 5, the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud isn't necessarily lighting the world on fire like how he did in his rookie season, but that's totally okay. He's playing smart, winning football, and when there's an opportunity for a big play, he hits it like this absolute bomb he threw to Nico Collins on Sunday. That DeMeco Ryans defense is greatly improved since last season, and they could win games in multiple different ways. They're 4-1 with their only loss coming in a blowout against the Vikings. Their division sucks, and unless things change massively in the coming weeks, it should be an easy division for the Texans to win. Number 4, the Washington Commanders. The Red Scare is number 4 on my power rankings, and honestly, I'm just as surprised as everybody else. Jaden Daniels isn't just having a historic rookie quarterback season, but he's having a historic any quarterback season, completing 77% of his passes for an impressive 8.7 yards per attempt. He is the only quarterback through the first 5 games of the season to have over 1,000 passing yards and over 300 rushing yards. And nobody is more happy about it than wide receiver Terry McLaurin, who finally has a quarterback that will hit him in the hands when he is wide open.
Thank you, God.
Number 3, the Detroit Lions. The Lions were on a bye this past week, so I don't really have a whole lot to say about them. Jared Goff is playing out of his mind right now. They have a great offensive line, great receivers, great running backs, and that defense isn't bad either. Number 2, the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, wait. The Minnesota Vikings went across the pond to Tottenham Stadium. They bloody whipped on those Yanks from New York, which is ultimately worse than Old York. I'm so sorry. I will never do a British accent ever again on this channel. Honestly, it sounded Australian in my head too. We'll see how it sounds when I edit this, but I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Vikings defense is incredibly good, and they are one of 2 teams in the NFL still undefeated. The offense had a tough time after Aaron Jones went out, but I think they'll get it figured out. They got 2 weeks for the bye to see what this offense looks like without him there, and they should be fine. Number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, look. The Chiefs won another primetime game where Patrick Mahomes threw a bad interception. They got a bunch of calls from the refs to go their way. I am so surprised. They improved to 5-0 on Monday night after they beat the Saints. Who could have saw that one coming? It must be so hard to be a Chiefs fan. I don't know how you guys deal with the stress. That's the video. Thank you for watching. If you like this one, check out some of my other ones, and then I will see you Friday for the Thursday night recap. I love you all. Bye.